see them in the shadows. I see them on my brain.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, No Mercy here. It is Tuesday night, so you already know what time it is. It's time for No Punches Pulled with No Mercy. Just to let everybody know, today is a pre-recorded show, so we are not actually live, but please still feel free to leave comments. I will answer those, and so will my guest. I'll make sure that I get the answers for you guys. So still feel free to comment, and we'll definitely get those answered for you. For those of you that know me already, awesome. Welcome back. For those of you who may not know, my name is Brooke Millbrook. I am formerly known in the fight business as Brooke No Mercy Dierdorff. I am a retired professional boxer. I held the WBC lightweight title until I retired and was inducted into the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame in 2022. I personally have been through some good, some bad, and of course, a lot of BS in the sport of women's boxing. Welcome to my platform. This is where we talk the talk and walk the walk. We're going to bring out the truth in women's boxing. You're going to hear from pioneers of the sport, past boxers, current boxers, even future boxers. We will be getting down and dirty and speaking the truth of what takes place in women's boxing behind the scenes. You definitely don't want to miss a single show, so please make sure you like, subscribe, and share the episodes so we can get some more people in here every Tuesday night, y'all. On today's show, though, we have a very, very, very special guest in the house. We have an amazing pioneer of the sport, the one and only Marian Lady Tiger Trimiar. She was the first female to receive a boxing license in New York, and she won the women's world lightweight title in San Antonio, Texas, in March of 1979. In 1987, she went on a hunger strike, y'all, for a whole month to advocate for better pay and better conditions for the professional female boxers. Please help me welcome in Marian to the show. Marian, thank you so much for joining me today. It's such an honor to have you on my show. How are you doing?
Okay, thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Very, very kind.
Of course. I mean, you're an icon, you're a pioneer, you're a trailblazer. The list goes on and on. One of the very first to get us going in this sport. So it's definitely a pleasure to have you here. It's such an honor to be speaking with you today. I'm so excited to tell the world your story.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes. So to start things off, can you just tell us a little bit about your childhood and how you became interested in the sport of boxing at such a young age?
Okay, I remember watching Muhammad Ali box on television with my father, and
Okay.
he, oh my goodness, he would show me a few pointers, and that's how I really first got interested by just watching Muhammad Ali and the different fighters on television. They don't have that anymore. The television, NBC, ABC, CBS, and all the ESPN, all the channels that used to have boxing no longer, they don't have it anymore.
No, they don't.
No, but that's how I first got started and interested was with my father watching it on television.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no HBO, no, none of that anymore. It's just
No,
basically all streamed nowadays, but it is what it is. But hey, I mean, I guess we can still watch it, just not the same as we used to.
yeah,
Um, so I know at the tender age of just 10 is when you started going to the local boxing gym to watch people spar and continue to watch boxing on TV. Not too long after that, though, you did tell everyone at the gym that you wanted to become a boxer. And when you expressed this dream to people, they just seemed to laugh at you. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and how you felt about, them laughing and what they were saying?
yeah. I was around, say, maybe 12 and 13 when I started going to the gyms, and I would in the I was rejected. They thought I was joking, wasn't serious about. boxing and wanting to box.
Mhm.
They took it lightly with jokes and laughter and things like that. And when I finally found the gym, my initiation was a butt kicking. I would go home with a black eye, bloody lip, and bloody nose, and my family would say, is this something you want to do? They weren't so go about it at that time. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to dig deep and really think about if this is truly something you want to do, especially as a woman in the sport.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, it's definitely getting a little easier for women nowadays, but even back in my day, they weren't real acceptive of females. I know you, like you just said, I know your first sparring match, they kind of put you in there with the guys and they just tried to beat you so bad that you wouldn't return because they didn't want you there. Um,
exactly. And when they said that I returned, then they said, "What? She's serious. I'm going to work with her. I'm going to train her, and and that's how they started taking me seriously when I returned. Um,
yes.
yeah, so that was one of the things. One of the bad things about the gym. I'm skipping because I was going to tell you about a lot of the bad things that go on, but
Yeah.
I'm going to skip and tell you about when I am. There was no bathrooms for women. So I would have to use the men's bathroom, and they put a peephole in it and would watch me, as I use the bathroom.
Oh,
And if I had my period, and they saw everything.
yeah.
Oh,
That's just sad.
yes, and my feelings were so hurt. You
Yeah.
I had to plug up the hole with tissue and different things every time I went to you know,
Yeah. Just total disrespect and disregard
exactly,
for your privacy at that point.
exactly.
And yeah, I know the first gym that I went to, Windy City Gym in Chicago, the original Windy City Gym. I
Mm,
mean, and I'm sure the gym was the same for you. I mean, they were the hardcore, old school, nasty. They smelled. I mean, you could smell the gym. I mean, it was just like rugged, like run down, old school, like, and it was just like you wouldn't even know it was a gym type
wow.
of place. They don't make them like that anymore. I haven't been in a gym like that in probably since Windy City Gym, to be honest. That was like 20 years ago.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I mean, they were already just kind of nasty and disgusting, and it just wasn't real clean as it is. And
Hmm.
then I can just imagine the disgustingness of having them one having to share a bathroom with the guys, and then them just having no respect whatsoever as far as your privacy.
Well, how did you make it in the bed?
Well, we actually did have two separate bathrooms
Oh,
then. So I mean, they weren't fancy by any means, but there was two separate rooms that we were able to use. One was kind of like in the back area, so they would let us use that one, and then there was like the main bathroom. I think it was probably technically like the coach's bathroom, but that's where we would go.
right,
Um, and yeah, then I just did all my showering and everything at home. I didn't do any of that stuff at the gym.
right.
But yeah, just total disrespect there. But you did keep your composure. You kept coming back. You kept showing, that you deserved to be there, that you wanted to be there. And you started to gain a little bit of their respect, which I'm sure felt a little bit rewarding.
Yeah,
And finally them taking you seriously and actually being treated like a fighter.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I know you continue to do your thing there. At the age of 18, you started training seriously after graduating high school. And I know you did a lot of exhibition fights before you were able to receive a professional boxing license as a female at the time, most of them being against the men, from what I believe. Is that accurate? And how was it fighting exhibitions against the men?
right. But I want to make it clear that I don't believe in the actual between men and women. I never I condone that. But exhibitions, that's a different thing. We're not a judge. We're not, you know, nothing like the actual bout, other than we're in there, you know, sparring. And I did it with Vito Antifermo in Little Italy. And that was, I think, one of my first experiences. And he was very nice and very helpful and worked with me really good. And then I also did with a guy on a few occasions with a guy by the name Dean Bent. Dean Bent, and he was an amateur fighter, and the people there they always matched us together. I thought that we worked good together, so that way people could actually see, a woman in the ring, and that's
Mhm.
interesting for a lot of people that never heard or seen anything like that ever.
Right. Yeah, totally different. Totally different. Um, yeah, exhibitions are definitely different than an actual sanctioned body fight.
Mhm.
More so just similar to like hard sparring. I mean, like a sparring match, but going a little bit harder, I would assume.
Yeah, and you might have that. I'm not. The people really enjoyed it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's definitely different. And I mean, you had to do what you had to do back then if you wanted to do something. I mean, you couldn't fight legally, so I mean,
Mhm.
at least that way you're getting practice, you're getting better, you're getting some experience.
Yes.
Did you were you able to do any amateur fights prior to doing any of that, or did they have amateurs even?
No, no, Brooke. They uh, no, no. They sanction women. One time, Killer, we call her Killer Diane. Killer Diane and I were on an amateur card uh, in Harlem, and they waited until midnight to put us on.
Oh wow.
And a lot of people were tired. Or oh, and another thing, Brooke, some guy yelled out, "Oh, these women, they should be killed. They should be shot." You know, and then my father took offense to it, and they almost got into a fist fight. It was he had to come up and because they're talking about killing people.
Yeah.
Because they chose a sport. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. That was one of my worst experiences, and that was with Killer Diane. So anyway, we did put on an exhibition. I guess it's called an exhibition because we weren't sanctioned by
Right.
the amateur AAU or anything. So, but people enjoyed it. We put on a good match, and yeah, it went over well.
Good. Good. Um, I know. I mean, I'm so excited. I was so excited to talk about this next part. Just because simply you were seriously like the first woman to apply for your boxing license in the state of New York in 1978. And after a long lawsuit, you were the first woman to receive your professional boxing license, along with Jackie Tanawanda and Kathy Davis. How important was it to you, and how rewarding did it feel to be the very first woman to receive your professional boxing license in New York?
Well, Brooke, I applied for a boxing license about 4 years earlier. In 1974,
Okay.
and was rejected. They well, men aren't allowed to fight women. I said I'm not interested in fighting men.
Right.
They were giving me all kind. Oh, that your face could get messed up. You know, all these sexist things. If you get hit in your stomach, You won't be able to have kids, and go on and on about some of the stuff that I'm being told to discourage me, you know, and and so finally, uh, years later, it was Cat Davis, Jackie Tonda Wanda, and we now they had an opportunity, Brooke, to give each one of us our license, making us all three the first to receive our license. They could have easily done that. There was commissioners there and different staff members. They could have handed us our license, all three at the same time.
Right.
But they chose to give it to Cat Davis, making her the first to be licensed, although she was the last to apply.
Right.
She was the last to apply, and the first to receive. Like I didn't wait 1 second to that would happen. Immediately I was on. I said, hey, this is not right, and blah blah blah. You know, and on and on. And oh man, that was not a good experience. I tell you that now. That was one that I'll never forget.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have it down. I mean, I know the truth and you know the truth, and I'm pretty sure the whole world probably knows the truth, but that Kat Davis is pegged as the first female to receive her license in New York, but it was actually you. They just happened to hand her hers first, whether it was intentional or unintentional. Um, I do believe the whole world knows, though, that you were the very first one to apply. You were the first one to get their license. They came in after the fact and just happened to be there at the same time.
Right. And you know what? It was intentional. You
Yeah.
know, they knew after that, this show and that show and this program and that program would have Cat Davis as a guest.
Yeah.
So that was definitely, and they at that time that they preferred the blonde hair, blue eyed person as opposed to a black person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which it's just a shame. It's just a shame. I don't see color of skin. I see people and individuals, and that's just how it should be.
Right.
I know things were a lot different back then than they are today, but I mean, we still struggle with that today.
It's
Uh,
worth it, Brooke.
yeah.
It's worth it. I'm seeing a whole lot of stuff. I don't want to get into that now because that'll take all your show.
That's fine. That's fine. No, I mean, it totally is. It's such a shame. But I know the truth. You know the truth.
Yeah.
The important people in the boxing world and everybody out there really knows the truth that you were the very first one to get your license. Um, Everybody knows that. She just rode off of that, rode off your tail, just kind of like trickled in there. But we all know, you were the first one. So, and we'll make that known here. And this is a worldwide podcast, so everybody knows that Marian was the very first one to get her license in the state of New York, not Kat.
Right.
So, um, also though, just 1 year later, in 1979, you won the women's world lightweight title against Sue Carlson in San Antonio, Texas.
Yes.
How did it feel to win a world title?
Okay. Let me tell you a story, Brooke. Um, okay. I was standing next to what I thought was a man, and I was telling him about. I said, "Oh, I'm going to fight this girl named Sue," and blah blah blah, and it was Sue that I was talking to.
Oh no.
Yes.
I can tell you, I have fought a few that I did not, I thought were guys
Yeah.
until I saw them coming out or at the weigh-in. So I can understand that.
But did you ever talk to them thinking that?
No,
You never did that.
no, I never got to talk to them beforehand. But I mean, when I saw them walking around, I just assumed they were guys until it was time for like the weigh-in and stuff. And I was like, that's who I'm fighting.
Oh, but look, I'm glad I didn't tell her any secrets. I'm gonna give her a hook. I'm glad I do that because I was talking to her, you know. But anyway, she was a nice person. And I felt really, really happy, to get that license. To get the trophy. A bit, you know what? They were giving out trophies instead of belts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't get a belt. I never
What?
belt until recently. You know,
Oh, that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I had a trophy, and trophies, are really not. They end up. 'Cause sometimes they get rusted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they break down, and I gave it to a guy here in New York City. He said, with all the traveling, it broke down. So he said, "Oh, I could fix it," and then he ended up losing it, the whole thing.
Oh no.
All I have to is pictures. I got a lot of pictures. That's all. Pictures of the trophy.
Well, I'm so glad you actually have pictures. You would be surprised how many people that I have interviewed or talked to that don't have pictures or videos at all. Like none.
Uh,
And
yeah,
I'm like, then how do you? I mean, I always tried to video because our fights weren't aired usually. So, I mean, it wasn't like you'd get your hands on tapes, but I
yes,
always tried to have somebody record it. So that way I like later for my kids, grandkids, like, that people can look and see history.
that
Um,
was
so
hard.
I'm so happy you have at least some photos, but that's terrible.
Yeah, but hard. I really wish I had someone at that time to. To me, my best fight was at the Olympic Auditorium. That's where, oh my goodness, the people threw money in the ring. They stood up. We got standing ovations. Brooke, you just don't know how I wish that. And we tried to get tapes.
Yeah.
My friend Chris and Georgina and different other people that I know tried to get copies and to no avail. No.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame.
But that was smart of you. To
Yeah, well, I mean, and there's seriously so many that I talk to, and they're like, I don't have any video footage except for like what's on YouTube or whatever. And I'm just like, I didn't ever like till just recently post any of my fights on the internet because I didn't want people studying me. Like you can get your own footage if you can get it. I'm not going to give it to you. Um,
Mhm.
but recently I posted some of my fights, but yeah, in my mind, I'm just like, we have to capture these moments so
Ye-
that we have it.
Yes,
And now a lot of my fights are on like old school VHS tapes or
yes,
like the old camcorders, like with the little
yes.
tiny tapes. So I
Mine,
need to get it all converted, but at least I still have it. I just need to
yes,
get it converted to today's technology. But, um, at least I have something that I can pass on.
yes. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Um, so the next big step that you took, that I mean, there may be other steps in between, but that I know of was in 1987, you went on a well-known publicized hunger strike for a month to advocate for better money and conditions for all the professional female boxers. You did direct the hunger strike though towards Don King, who was managing Christy Martin and some other female fighters at the time. Can you tell us a little bit about what made you decide to do the hunger strike and why towards Don and just the background of that story?
Yeah, there's one of is of my father was in front of Don King's place, and the weather was cold. My mother was there also, but my father was a ticket sign on, and some other women too, some other people that were supporting me. I did approach Don King. I lived in Harlem, and we went to. Uh, he was a big promoter, at that time, and so that's where we went. We went to his office. We picked it outside his place. We said that we want bigger purses. We want more rounds, more fights. We want promotion. Period. We want promotion.
Right.
So so that's one of the reasons that I went on the hunger strike, and I went on the hunger strike in Las Vegas. Uh, um, and I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm not going to give you the name of the girl, but it 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 hurt me so bad. It hurt me. Okay, I paid for everybody to that went to Vegas. We had the poster signs, magic markers, everything to make signs. You know, signs. We weren't against uh, Sugar Ray Leonard that was fighting. That wasn't the purpose. People saw it. We said, beep if you think women should box, and it was because we were right near the street, right near where the street, and so the people saw this and they started beeping, beep, 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 you know, beep if you think women should. They beep, 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 and that was a plus. But getting back to I wanted to give you some background about how it took a lot just to get everything organized for the picketing. You
Yeah.
know, it wasn't easy. You had to have permission, special permission. A lot of things that I didn't know that I had to go through. Had about 2 carloads of people and with the picket signs and everything. So I won't name the 2 people, but 2 people that went. Do you know that they went to party? They didn't go there to help me with the picketing or anything. They were dressed to the T and went there with high heel shoes and ready to dance party. I said, "What the hell is this?
Right.
Oh my goodness! Oh man, you know, even till today, I can't get over it. You know, it put a bad taste in my mouth. You know,
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, why would you say you're gonna come and help, and then you go
exactly.
just so that you can go out and party in Vegas?
Yeah, at my expense too.
Right.
You know, and everybody else was there. You know, signs and So anyway, I just wanted that experience, but I was on the hunger strike for 30 days, and it was not only me. It was 2 other women, Joanne Metallo, and oh my goodness, she's going to be mad because I have a mental blank right now of the other person, but it was 3 of us, and but they didn't stay on for no more than maybe a couple of days,
Okay.
But that was okay. They still, I have them on the flyer. Um, and we had some mailboxes that supported my cause. You know, like Mike Tyson and
Yeah.
others. Oh boy. Um, yeah, I was trying for bigger purses, more rounds, more fights, promotion. Uh, and Don King. When we approached Don King didn't have, but at that time, Brooke, there was he wasn't promoting any boxers.
Okay.
He wasn't promoting not near one boxer. And after I spoke to him during my hunger strike, and he said that he's going to use women boxers, that is what got me off the hunger strike. And he kept his word. The first one he used was Christy Martin. That's the one he used. So I think that she should credit me for helping her to get the fights she had with Don King. It was the hunger strike that did it. It was
Right.
the that did it. And but some- she she never mentions anything. Mentions the boxes that came before her, like Barbara Buttrick and different other women. Uh, and as I said, I know that Don King would attest to this. That it was the pressure that I put on him. You know, and I told him that he used Coatsy or whatever his name is, the South African. You know, I said if he could use them, I said why can't he help a Black African
Right.
female? You know, so all of these things. A lot of this was on the flyers. I have it on paper. I have it in all kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah.
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 So
So, I mean, the hunger strike, the outcome it was that he did start promoting females, but he
yeah,
didn't even consider promoting you at that point.
right. That's a disappointment. You know, but you know what? I took it like this at that time. I was glad that women were being promoted on national television. You know, where everybody could see them. You know,
Right.
I know that it wasn't me. You know, but I'm the one that let it happen. You know,
Right. Which is a shame that you weren't included in that
yes, it is.
because you went through so much stuff and just to get it there and be heard for all of women. So yeah, that's very disappointing to me that you weren't included in that group of girls.
Right. Yes.
Definitely a shame.
Yeah.
Because all your hard work and you went through the hunger strike, you stood out there and picketed, you were the one that did all of this stuff, which worked because he did start promoting females.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't quite understand why he wouldn't have included you in that group of people that he promoted.
Do you know that it would be wonderful if we could talk and ask him these questions now?
Yeah,
You know, that's the whole thing. You know, I would love to do that. You
yeah,
know,
I would love to know that answer too.
yeah. So if anybody has an opportunity or know a way that we could get in contact with him, you know, I know Christy Martin is working with him, but must be another way that I could get in contact with him. You know,
Uh,
I just
yeah,
want to,
that's a good question. I can try to find out if there's a way to reach him.
yeah, thank you.
I will definitely try to find out.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions, we were picking his his place and making calls and finally, you know, okay, got the okay and and then he used Christie, you know, but I'm happy that someone was used, if he had said if he had said, well, I'm not gonna ever use women boxes and I wouldn't have known where to go from there. I don't even know if I'd be here now. I don't know. You know,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in right there. Um, but it did. I mean, it worked. And you got women's boxing out there. You got women's boxing heard. You just didn't get to reap the benefits of it, unfortunately. But it did start us on the right path to starting to get to where we are today.
Yes.
Um, I know that when I was inducted in the Hall of Fame, when I got that phone call, that was literally the most special phone call I think I've ever had, um, especially boxing related. But in 2016, you were inducted into the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. Can you tell us a little bit about the call you got from Sue Fox and how it felt to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Sue. Oh my goodness, she's. I really admire her because she's doing so much. For women's boxing with the I band. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. But
Man,
yeah, all the things that she's doing to so people could know that we exist and that we still exist and that she has the she's honoring the women uh, that participated, and that's a good thing.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So I was really shocked and surprised and honored, and that she would have me, you know, in the Hall of Fame, in the Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm grateful,
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't travel. That's the whole thing. She wanted me to actually
From
come,
there.
but
Yeah.
the traveling would be hard. I'm in a wheelchair. A lot of people don't know, but I'm in a wheelchair, so traveling would have been pretty difficult at that time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy getting around, um, especially if you had to fly or something
Yeah.
like that. It's possible, just a little difficult.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, you were also, though, in 2021 inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience? Because I think, I can't remember, was that the first year that women were inducted?
No, that wasn't. They were inducted even before that.
Okay.
And it was by this man by the name of Ed Brophy. Now the thing is, when he called me, and I didn't understand exactly what the whole thing was all about. I thought Ed Brophy was, and I thought I misunderstood his name, Brophy, and I thought he was giving me a trophy.
Oh,
And I said, "Oh, I'm going to get a trophy for boxing." He said, "No, my name is Brophy, and I want I want you to the International Boxing Hall." I said, "Oh, well, that was a whole big." So yeah, that's how that all took place, and um, I was really happy to be invited. I've never, let me tell you something. I had after after boxing, I was out for about over 30 years. I didn't do any boxing. I didn't watch it. I had nothing to do with it. Tell the international boxing team and this lady these people that are doing a documentary, and then this other International Boxing Hall of Fame. All of these things came like kind of recent,
right.
and I'm gonna be honest. I don't know because I've been isolated from. I didn't know a lot of the women that are boxing currently. Because I was away from it. I,
Right.
I didn't know about this thing called streaming and
Streaming, yeah.
or I didn't even know about Facebook. My home attendant had to get me. I'm old school.
Yeah.
And I'm not all these other things that I'm not into all this streaming and even the podcast. I'm learning about that and how to handle that. All of this is new and sometimes pretty difficult.
Yes, it
You
can
know,
definitely can be, and it can definitely be overwhelming. It's just a lot
yeah,
of information.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I struggle with it and with a lot of the stuff, the technology stuff and all of that. I mean, I'm pretty basic. I don't do a whole lot of extra stuff. I mean, my kids can run the stuff better than me. So I
Yeah,
just, I mean, and you're more old school than me, but I'm still old school too. So yeah, they always laugh. My kids they think it's hilarious when I have to ask them for help with something because I don't know how to do it.
oh wow. But,
Um,
but you're something else too because you're bringing to light all the women in boxing with your podcast and all that you're doing. So you're to be honored too.
Oh, I appreciate that. That means a lot. Yes. I just want everyone's stories to be heard, and I want the current and future generations to be able to know the history in women's boxing. It wasn't done overnight, it wasn't done because of the Olympics. It wasn't the current fighters of today that got it to where it is. And I just feel like people need to know, and you can learn so much from every single person's story.
Right.
There's just so much to learn and so much history there. So that's kind of the reason behind the podcast, and just for people to really understand women's boxing and everything that each one of us, each separate generation up till now has had to go through to get it there. Because it certainly was not an overnight job. That's for sure. And it took lots and lots of generations. to get it even where we are today. And it's still not even all the way there yet. We're building. Um, I know we kind of talked about this a little bit before, but that's why. And all of us females have been through a lot of things that are unfair and a lot of extreme, like BS situations behind the scenes that no one knows about. You've talked about a few of them already. Is there any other stories that you would like to share with some stuff that you had to go through in your career?
Oh yeah, there was so many unfair things in boxing. One was I had already told you about was the bathrooms. You
Yeah.
know, but you know what? Believe it or not, that was a big thing. When I see the women, they have a beautiful bathroom for the women, and it's like I just can't believe believe what I'm seeing now. To me, see, to somebody else it might be small. It's a bathroom. No, big thing that was a big thing to me. Another thing, male some of the male boxers wanted women to prove that they were not gay. Because they call this the manly art of self-defense. So they wanted women to prove that they're not gay by having sex with them. Do you know some women went for it? Some of the women boxers,
Oh,
they
wow.
had they had sex with some of the male boxers to prove that they're not gay.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but a lot things like that was happening then. So it was a lot of sexism, racism, you know, and the breast protectors. Oh my God, that's a whole nother story in itself. They would give us these to put on our breasts, and if you were accidentally hit on your breast, it would hurt worse than if you didn't have anything at all.
Yeah.
You know, so I would go without a breast protector. They would say, Lady Tiger, do you have on your breast protector? I say, yeah. And then the guy would feel it to see if I had it on.
Yeah.
The referee feel my breast, but he didn't say anything. He didn't feel any protection or anything, but he didn't say anything. So anyway, that was uh, one of them. And the other thing is the work that was uh, uh, done to try to promote women's boxing. I would uh, uh, try. We needed sponsors. I had to work a full time just to pay my rent and for food and all. I had to. Uh, uh, all I needed was a sponsor. I tried to get sponsors to because men had sponsors.
Yeah, they do. Mhm.
Yeah, so I said, well, maybe I could do the same. And I asked around. I even went to celebrities and asked them, and they let me know that they weren't doing as good as people thought they were doing. And as a matter of fact, people thought I had money and was asking me, writing me letters asking for money.
Wow.
And I'm receiving food stamps.
Right.
You know,
Women didn't make any money.
yeah, I'm barely living, and then I'm writing letters. The letter, I had this lady help me. I was writing letters and going to commission meetings, the state athletic commission meetings, and telling them, hey, we need more rounds, we need this, we need more better pay, and all this and this and that. In addition to my job, I was doing all of that, and then trying to go to the gym and train.
Right.
It was murder.
Yeah.
You know, wow.
Yeah. Even in my time, I had to work a full time job, be a mother, and then train part time.
That's right. Being a mother. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought
There was no full time boxing, even in my day.
right, right.
So I've
And,
always said we work way harder than the men do because we have to do it all.
Exactly, exactly. And then one of the ladies, I don't I have her name before me right now, but she had her period, and she mentioned. I was so happy that she mentioned, because one of the things they were saying that you can't you can't fight if you have your period and all. And she said I have my period, and she won the fight. You know,
Yeah.
so you could do that. You could have that time of the month. That never bothered me. That time of the month never bothered me. You,
No.
so
No, I mean the only thing is sometimes they make it hard to like make weight and you be uncomfortable, but it doesn't stop you from existing and doing things.
well, the only thing I had a little bit. One time I was working out and sweating, and then the blood came all the way through my clothes, my robe, and everything, and then all the men and everybody could see, that I had blood, so that was a little, I guess, embarrassing,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
I mean that's a part of womanhood. I mean
yeah,
everybody knows what it is and everybody knows it's something we can't control. I mean it
it
just is what it
was
is.
a told me. He said, "Hey, Lady Tiger, you got this." And I said, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "I didn't even realize." And so I left, and did what I had.
You
Yeah,
just do what you got to do.
yeah.
That's really all there is to that. Um, so I know with you growing up and watching boxing so much and then being around boxing pretty much since you were a child, did you have any of like favorite fighters or people that you looked up to or really enjoyed?
Uh, you know, that I was boxing, there, like before I started boxing, there were no women, that I knew about.
Right.
Later on, I found out about Barbara Butcher, who was a bantamweight, and she also promoted women's boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And her and a guy by the name of Jimmy Finn.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of men that are instrumental in helping, women's boxing. I mean, they really, 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 really helpful. Like Jimmy Finn, Christopher Benedict, and, and some different other people. You know, even Mike Tyson, and I can't name too many boxers, but they were, you know, supportive in their own way.
Right. Right. Which is awesome. Definitely awesome.
And the women that fought the time that I fought, you know, they're to be commended too. Is Gwen Gemini, Squeaky Bayardo, and Zebra Girl, and Princess Red Star. I had a fight with Princess Red Star, Indian, and it was in the reservation. And I remember after the fight, she gave a necklace that meant peace or something. She explained everything. I still have it, to today. It was it was an Indian type thing. It was very, very nice, and they were friendly. I was very comfortable with them.
Yeah.
And then Sue Fox is another one, and then there's, you know, a few more Brit, and a few more, people at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I know you said you hadn't watched boxing or been involved with boxing for the longest time. Are you watching any of the current fighters today, or is there any females that are active now that you kind of like or are impressed by?
Yeah, uh, there's I've seen Clarissa Shields, Amanda Serrano, and Katie Taylor. I saw the fight. We were right in the garden when we saw the fight. That was the first time I was in the garden. after, I think since Christy Martin. I think I was there with Christy Martin. Then the next time was uh, recently with
Okay.
uh, Alyssa Bumgardner. She's the one that fought with with the period.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still learning about more, boxers as female boxers as time.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there was so many that came after you.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
mean, after your generation, I mean, going on to like my generation and so on and so on. There's been so many now.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just seems like they just keep coming out. They just keep coming out of the woodwork, which is good. It's great that there's so many female now athletes
yeah,
doing boxing.
yeah,
Hopefully, it just continues to grow.
yeah. No, I was gonna say I remember Ali. He came to a recreation center. I used to go to a after school recreation center, and he came there to visit. That was a big thing for all of us. For all the kids and the youth at that time. And yeah. So, but the thing is, I've talking about the things that I did to promote women's boxing, and I was an activist in that. I've always been an activist. I marched with Reverend Jesse Jackson, and I met Stokely Carmichael, who was Kwame Ture. He was an activist. Angela Davis, who was a black activist. So I've always been in that type of thing. A gung ho. Like if I see some injustice, and in boxing was a lot of it,
Yeah,
and I put a lot of my energy into that. You
yeah,
know, that's why I went as far as the hunger strike. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. Definitely, definitely worked and put in that work for women's boxing. That's for sure. Um,
Mhm.
definitely were all about it and put everything you had into it. That's for sure.
Yes.
I do know. I was so excited to see all the photos that you had sent over. So let's take a little bit of time and go through the photos, and you can kind of just tell everybody about the photos and your experience, um, and what each one's about. Uh,
Okay.
all right, Eric, can you start the slideshow, please?
Okay. I'm not sure if no, that's not the one. There's maybe this the next one, but the poster, that's an all girl card.
Yep.
No, that's an all girl card, and and it was a successful fight. It was, but I'm not sure if it was that one or another one. No, the people only had to pay $5.
That's it.
$5 to get it. I could. When I saw I didn't even know until I saw the post. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, but maybe you'll see it on the next one. But all the girls there, they were all very good fighters.
Yeah, I got to meet Cora Weber and Dora Weber at the inductions.
Right.
Yeah, they're amazing sisters.
Yeah.
Cora was on this card. Yeah, that's phenomenal. But I can't believe it was only $5. That's insane.
Yes. And
Eric,
just
slide to the next one. Oh,
yeah, that's what Carlotta Lee. That's when I uh, Carlotta Lee in I think on the same show that where the poster, it, the poster that you just showed. I think
that's
that's it.
the same person.
Yeah.
And you won, I'm obviously.
Yeah.
She said, yeah.
Yeah, no, but let me tell you something. I'm sorry, excuse
That's
me.
okay.
What was I going to say? um, okay, we're going because that coughing made me lose my point.
That's
See,
okay. I said you won,
get
obviously.
old, you see? That's what happens when you get old.
I know. My mind's going already. Don't worry about it. Eric, what's the next one?
That I wait, no, that's not it.
That's
No, no, that's not the $5 one. But Who does it say I fought there? Brooke?
It says Ernestine Jones.
Oh, okay, Ernestine Jones. Okay, yeah. So that was a pretty good card. And as I said, all the women on there, Britta's up there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the women, they were pretty good fighters.
Yeah, but that I can't believe the amount of all women's cards there were then.
Yes,
You can't
yes,
even hardly get all women's cards now.
right. Let me tell
I
you,
fought on one all women's card, one.
what did you say? I'm sorry.
I only had the pleasure of fighting on an all female card one time.
Oh, okay. And and how was that? How did that?
It was good. I mean, it was amazing. It's just phenomenal just to be able to see all the other females like on one card. Usually you're the only one.
Right, right.
So to be a part of, I think there was, God, I want to say like 6 or 8 bouts on the card, but they were all females. Like it was amazing. Like I was so excited to be a part of it. And they
Right.
just don't, they don't have them any hardly ever.
No, they don't.
Yeah, so that's amazing that you were on several back then that they were doing all women's cards.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. What's the next one, Eric?
that's the one. With Sue Ko card, the one that I thought was a guy.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah, and that's the one I think cost $5 to. If you look, does it say it on the bottom, Brooke? I think $5 to get in or something like that.
It's kind of cut off at the bottom. It
Oh,
might say that,
yeah,
but I can't see the whole all the way down.
if
It
I,
does. Okay, yes, my Eric says it does. That's the $5 one.
oh my goodness, isn't that? I couldn't believe it.
I
So
can't. That is so crazy. And that wasn't even all female card.
no, it wasn't.
$5. Wow.
Couldn't
Shoot,
believe.
I'd have been at every card if it was every fight if it was $5. I would have been to all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so crazy. What's next, Eric?
Okay. They said that the the marquee that you see there, they said that well, women can't get a higher pay unless they are of marquee value. And then after that, I said, look, here we are. Our names are on the marquee. I said, we are marquee of marquee value. Now, what do you have to say? You know, now our money should go way up. You know, so all of that. Uh, trying to find excuses not to pay us. You
Yeah,
know, and then when we do whatever they say that we need to do, then they still find ways not to pay us.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't mind me asking and don't feel like you have to answer the question, but I'm just curious, what is the most that you ever made?
The most I ever made was $1,000.
Okay. See, the most I ever made in mine was for my WBC title back there when I fought Mia St. John in Mexico for the second time. I made $4,000.
Wow.
That
Even
was my biggest payday.
wow. That's even low, compared to what women are making, you know.
Yes. Yeah, that was yeah. So, I guess from your time to my time, I mean, I went up $3,000. I guess that's pretty good in a span of what 20,
Yeah.
30 years. But yeah, I was still, it was still disappointing.
Yeah. I couldn't afford to do it like that. I had to pay my rent
Yeah,
and train and do this and do. Oh no, I just got to where it was costing me the box.
it does. It
Yeah,
seriously did. I mean, for that fight in Mexico that I made 4,000, I had to be there like 2 weeks out because it was in Mexico and boxing over there is huge. So we had to do like the public workout and like multiple press conferences and then like the pre fight weigh in and then the weigh in and it
wow,
so by the time and I worked full time so I had to take 2 weeks off work.
wow.
So by the time I put back the money that I lost by not working and getting there and everything, and the money spent there. Yeah, I ended up paying for that fight.
But did you fight a Mexican?
I fought Mia St. John. Yes, she's Mexican.
Oh.
She's I think was born and raised in America, but
Mm-hmm.
she is Mexican heritage. So yeah, had fought her once already and won as a replacement fighter, and then she wanted a rematch, but only in Mexico. So that's how we ended up going there. But that's where I won the WBC title from her.
Oh. No.
So yeah, but yeah, $1,000. That's nothing. Same thing with my little petty 4K. But what are you gonna do? It is what it is. But I still got the memories.
Yeah.
Eric, what's the next photo? Okay, so here's about your hunger strike.
Yeah, that's right. Del Pettis, that's the lady's name. I couldn't think of it at that moment. Remember earlier, I couldn't. Yeah,
Yes, couldn't remember her name.
Joanne Metello, Del Pettis, and then Mike Tyson was very, positive, So, and then it has a little detail, written down, there.
Yes, all your quotes and all like the little info.
Yeah.
This was basically the flyer that you used.
Yes, that is it. I had, oh my goodness, even up until recently, I had so many left over. You know,
Yeah, that's amazing. Just
yeah,
simply amazing.
and that's the ones that was going out. I sent it all. I sent it to the networks. I said, "Do you know I have 400?" And I have pictures of all the people that I sent it to. You could see it on the floor. Some, I had it all spread out. Envelope from one end of the room to the other. A lot of envelopes. You know, it was tremendous. It was fortunate that this guy that had a stamp machine let me, use. Otherwise, I couldn't afford to do it. You know,
Right.
and different people helped me in different ways. I want to I know you're going to ask me about anything I have to say, but I'm going to say now that because I don't want to forget, I would like to thank so many people that helped me years and years ago. Uh, uh, you know, letter writing and stamps and envelopes and different other things that they helped me to do. I
Yeah.
want to so great, even the picketing, the ones that were out there with me. I would like to thank them that, for helping me. And I hope they see it so they know that I'm grateful.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've always say there's very, very few things in life that we all do completely alone or solo. There's always somebody in the background that plays a big role in helping um, to
Yes.
accomplish things. So you definitely, I'm sure, had a lot of people, like you said, in the background helping with even the smallest of things
Yes.
that you
Yes.
wouldn't have been able to do without them.
Exactly.
Absolutely. What do you got next, Eric?
Uh, my pop, that's my father.
Aw,
Yeah. He was out there. It was cold weather too.
he
And
looks
he
cold.
yes, you can see he has on a warm coat. And but he was supportive. He knew that I liked boxing, and he was out there. And oh boy, I really appreciate it. Oh, Brooke, during that time, my mother and father wanted me to stay at their house, but if I stayed there, oh look, just eat a little bit of this, just eat a little bit of that, and I
Yeah,
couldn't stay there. I stayed at this other people. That's another thing. I wish I could find these people. Though I know that the mother passed away. It was a mother and two sons. I stayed at their house, because I needed a place. I was introduced to them from somebody else. You know how
yeah.
just like I was introduced.
Did we, Eric? Did we lose her? I'm not sure either.
It was on my home.
Oh, there she is. I lost your sound for a second.
Oh, Carmen, can you?
Yeah, I did. Mm-mm.
Okay.
What do you need?
Uh, is the sound? Is everything?
It's back. You're back now.
Okay.
Okay.
Um. Oh boy. Don't tell me that. What was that? Oh.
You were talking about the people that you stayed with.
Yes. Yeah. I stayed with this family. It was a mother and two sons, and they were very, very nice to me. They didn't bother me about having any food or anything. If I stayed at my mother's, it would have been, it would have her, and my family.
Yeah, I have no idea how you went that long without eating.
Yeah, you could. You could go. You have water now. You have to have water. You
Yeah,
have.
I mean, you have to have water to
Yeah.
survive. And I
Yeah.
know you can go that long, but
Yes.
I don't know how you.
And I lost a lot, and then I gained it back after the whole thing was over. And
Yeah,
like it was like a relief, that you
that's
know,
a lot of self-discipline, though. I don't know that I could go that long without eating anything.
yeah, it was very, 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 very. I learned from, you heard of Dick Gregory?
Yes.
Okay, there was a Dick Gregory diet. The lady that taught Dick Gregory, I actually went to her, and she's the one that told me how I could survive, long periods of time without eating, you know. And so she passed away. Her name was Barbara. So I have all of that information somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I don't know that I would have the self-restraint to not eat when
It,
I'm so hungry, but
I was around. I was not around that. I knew that if they knew I wasn't eating.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Eric, what's the next photo?
Oh, Tyson. Yeah. Mike Tyson was very encouraging. I'd like to talk to him too, and get a feel of what he thinks about women today. And, just to talk, chat.
I would love to talk to him too because as far as my male role models go, that's who I feel like I fought after. My
Wow,
style was similar to his style.
wow.
Um,
You
so
knocked
I would love to talk to Mike Tyson.
you knocked Brooke.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but I was just that straightforward, like bulldog style, like just go right at him.
Wow.
I didn't have probably as good a defense as he did because even though he was that style of fighter, his defense was impeccable. Um, but that was just my mindset was like similar to I wanted to be like a Mike Tyson,
Right,
or
right.
as far as on the guy's side. So I would absolutely love to meet and sit down and talk to Mike Tyson one day.
Yeah, maybe that'll be possible.
Yeah. Hopefully one day before I leave this earth, I'll have a chance to meet him. But yeah, that's awesome. That's so awesome though that he was so supportive and
Yes.
help you with this. That's just amazing. What else you got, Eric?
Okay. Oh, the guy, the right. That's the one that's the, that was Bert Sugar. He was a writer,
Yep.
and that's of course me in the middle. And the other one is Randy Gordon. Now Randy, he was the boxing commissioner, and he has a podcast, and he has all kind of things. Now he was very, when I mean very supportive of women's boxing. He even had arguments with other commissioners, and when they told him no, he said yes, we are going to use women. So he was an advocate, a supporter, and it would be nice if he was uh, in the Women's Boxing Hall of Fame for supporting women's boxing.
Yeah, you can you should nominate him.
Okay, I could do that.
You can.
Uh-huh. Outsider.
Yeah, anybody can nominate. I know at least for the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, when it's time for them to do the voting, like Sue will put out a thing that, we're going to start the voting or start the nominations for next year's inductees or whatever.
Yeah.
Anybody can just send her an email nominating someone and why, and then they'll vote on it and stuff like that to see if they can get in.
But he's still facing prejudice. He has cast, and I've looked at his. I don't know. Excuse me. I have looked at it, and uh, people are still, you can still see a little prejudice, in some of the men that they still just want men,
Yeah.
and that makes it a little difficult for people like Randy that want to help women, but they're getting so much bad feedback from other men.
Right.
So that's prejudice, sexism, and racism. This is too terrible. This is a terrible thing. I grew up with all of that.
Yeah.
All my
Yeah.
life,
It's still there.
and it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere.
No, no, it has not. Um, it's definitely sad, and it hasn't gone anywhere, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere for a long time. I mean, it gets better a little bit each time, or as time goes on, it gets a little better, but I don't know that it'll ever fully be gone,
Yeah,
which is
yeah. Randy, he's a good person, a good family man, and I'm happy to consider him my friend too.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Eric, what do you got?
Oh, Archie Moore, the great Archie Moore. Boy, oh boy, did he teach me a lot. He told me how walking is very, very important. He didn't say jogging. He said walking is very good for the body. It's good for and so he did a lot of that. He told me that that's a lot of his. They call him the mongoose. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So the snakes, didn't have a chance against him, the mongoose.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And your pic you do got a lot of amazing photos, I have to say. So I'm so glad you have these memories.
Oh yeah, thank you. He
Eric,
was
Eric, what's
he,
next?
he was okay.
Ooh.
Oh, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Two bullheads think alike.
That's funny too. Bald things are like, yeah. I mean, how was it being able to meet all these amazing, amazing fighters?
Oh my goodness, it was. Oh man, I met. Uh, I even met Sylvester Stallone and a lot of, as you said, a lot of famous people.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't get a chance to do that. I can't get near them now. At one time, I was invited to this. Oh yeah, have dinner here. Have dinner there. Oh, come here, come here. You know, those days. But thinking of a bald head, I had a lot of prejudice with that too. I was called Mount Baldy, Kojak, Mrs. T, Baldy Locks, Chrome Dome, and things like that. And then people ask me, "Oh, can I rub your head for good luck?"
Oh Lord.
Yeah. And can I rub your head to see into the future? You know, and things like that. I was even asked if I had alopecia. You
Oh
know,
jeez. Bullies. They're
uh,
just bullies.
yeah. And I was also asked if I was bald down there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Chauvinistic pigs.
Yes. So I went through, all of that.
Yeah, just outright disrespect. That's all there is to it, and it's
But
disgusting.
not only men, it was women. It was a boxer that told people that she lost the fight to me because my shiny bald head blinded her when we fought.
That's all she could come up with.
She said that's what she said. She said, oh, I couldn't see. Her bald head, blinded me, and I couldn't see. That
Should
was
have made it easier. There wasn't a bunch of hair flying around or anything.
yes,
Oh, people are so funny. They're
yeah.
not what they try to be. Eric, what's the next one?
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, because I've seen articles where he was really for women, but still, we started a little bit that day, and he came to visit my gym in Los Angeles, and yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, and that you got to work with him.
yes,
Yeah, that's so crazy. Did he take it easy on you?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I mean, you never know. I figured, but I know some guys.
yeah.
That's amazing. Eric, what's the next one?
That looked like a stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very nice and friendly. Um, yeah, yeah, I can't say too much because we just, we met and it was cordial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Respect, mutual respect.
exactly.
Nice. Eric, what's next? Of course.
Golly, that was at. I'm not sure if that was when I went to his house a few times, brought different people to his house, and I met his wife and Leela Ali. She was like maybe 9, 10 years old.
Okay.
I thought I was the one that influenced her to get into by me being a female, and I told her, okay, put up your dukes. That's what they used to say years ago. Put up your dukes. I told her to put up your dukes. I said, hit my hand. Things like that. And
Yeah.
the mother was right there. You know, and so I thought that I influenced her, but she said that her father's the one that got into boxing. So I guess I can't take credit for that.
Oh man. Yeah, I would love to ask her that too if she remembers. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I'm sure she does. If she was 9 or 10, she definitely remembers, I'm sure.
yes, yes,
Man, I would love to ask her that question.
yes, please.
Yeah. So to see, I'm gonna have to get with one of my friends that knows her and have her ask them
Yes,
if she remembers doing that with you. That's amazing.
yeah.
What's next, Eric?
Oh, the guy that I was telling you that's a writer's on with the glasses on the top. That's Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, and you already know Melissa. Now the thing is, I had a talk with Melissa not too long ago, and she was talking about her husband that has dementia.
Yes.
I was telling her about my mom that had dementia, and then you said your mom had dementia.
Yes.
So, um, all of us have someone that had that and were going through things,
Yeah.
with yeah,
Yeah. Definitely a very, very rough disease.
yeah,
I wish they could find a cure for it.
yeah. They're finding something. You know, there's some progress being, I read, you know,
Yeah.
and then Melissa was telling me about the things you eat, different things you do that could, help, because I was telling her that, I'm up in age, so, it's a little scary,
Yep.
but she was telling me what to do to protect myself and all that. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then the lady on the right, that's Carmen, my home attendant, my home,
Okay, nice.
my home health aide. She's been with me 7 years. She's she's been wonderful, and she's a sweetheart. She's my family because I tell everybody. when I tell everybody I don't have family, listen, Brooke, I lost my father. I lost my sister. I lost my brothers, my aunties, my whole family, all the people that I used to share Easter, Christmas, all the holidays with. I do not have anymore. So
Yeah.
really, really sad for me, Bishop. You know, I am family. You know, and she's like my daughter. I call her my daughter. I call
Yeah,
her my
absolutely.
daughter. I call Sue Fox my sister
Yeah.
because Sue Fox lost her sister and I lost mine, so we call each other sisters.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
I tell the Sue and everybody else, I feel like every female athlete that's a boxer, I mean, 99% of the ones that I've met, would consider all of them like we're all like a sisterhood because we've
right,
all been through the same things or
right,
similar things. So I think it's kind of like a sorority or a sisterhood.
right. But you know, let me tell you something. I agree with you. But there was a time that uh, in the gym in Los Angeles, there was two female boxers. They had a boxing outfit with Confederate flags on.
Oh,
Yeah, and they wore that and so that well, maybe they changed their attitude, or I don't know what happened with that particular thing, but that happened.
yeah, no, that's not good.
No, but Christopher, he's a writer and a historian, and and I mean, really, really helpful with women's boxing. He wants to do a story on you, and you said before that would be okay,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and you should see some of his writing. I mean, these are superb writings, and I know that Melissa writes also,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that and like
absolutely.
you know, and and Carmen, she's into Mary Kay products. She cooks and does all. I mean, she does all kind of things. So she's a good person to know too. A
Absolutely.
very very.
Absolutely. Totally.
She's from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
Well, that's good. I
yeah,
mean,
and
it's amazing that you found such a good caregiver because I mean
yeah.
they're not all great.
You know what? And let me tell you, believe it or not, okay, I have to take the accessory. I don't know if they, are you familiar with the accessory? It's a van for handicapped
Okay,
people.
yeah.
Okay, so we take that there, and because she's so pretty, that I get treated well. They let me out a different place. Yeah, I said, "Well, Lord, let me out here where they're not supposed to." They'll let me out there. They'll do different, and even the super, he'll do extra favors for me and different other people because So she, I have that advantage.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she helped us get the show done today. So that's awesome too.
Yeah, that's another thing. She helps me with all of the stuff like that, all the mechanical, all the things like that. I wouldn't be able to do it. We wouldn't be able to do it without her.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Eric, what else you got for us?
that's Sue
Yep.
Fox. That's me and my sister. You know, yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to have met her. She does so much with her. Uh, with all the things that she's doing to still promote women's
Yep.
boxing. And let people know that we're out there. We're here.
Absolutely. Still to this day. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody, I think I say this on every show, but WBAN.com. If you want to know anything about women's boxing or any of the fighters, visit WBAN.com. That is like the one and only real women's boxing site.
Hmm.
Eric, what's next? Well, there she is.
Oh, is that Leela?
Leilali, yep.
Yeah, that's me and Leela. I have a little tiny story to tell you. My home attendant was trying to take pictures, and the glare, for some reason, the light glare was messing up the picture. So Leela Ali took over. She said, "Oh, it's just like like as if she was a professional photographer." She said, "Okay, now you stand here and you do this and you do." It was and a lot of people in her position could have said, well, that's your problem. I took a picture, goodbye, But she made sure we were able to get the picture.
Yeah, that's
She
awesome.
sat there and directed us how to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it was so nice. She was so, and I want her to know that I would like to ask her about when she was a little
Yeah, I
kid.
would love to know that. I'm gonna talk to one of my friends that
Yeah,
talks to her and see if we can
yeah,
ask that question. If I figure
yeah.
it out, I'll definitely let you know.
Okay.
Eric, what's the next one?
That was at the Boxing Hall of Fame when I got the first belt that I ever had in my life after all the 40, maybe 40
Yeah.
years, without a belt or a trophy or something else. And that was my, that was, it, it- Roy Jones Jr.
Yes.
and my home attendant, they had to help me. I almost fainted. Yeah, yeah. And they had to hold me up. And I was, it was like a moment of a lifetime.
Yes.
No. And, oh boy, I had no idea that it was coming. It was,
That was an amazing surprise and an honor,
yeah,
but you
yes.
deserve it.
Oh,
Finally
thank
got your
you.
belt
I finally got after all.
after all those years. That's
Yes.
amazing, amazing, amazing. Eric, what's next?
Oh, okay. That's my home health aide. And we call it home health aide because he has to help me with um my sugar, the
Mm-hmm.
diabetes and high blood pressure. And she's like a nurse,
Yeah.
and it has to help with all of that. Okay, then I met Barbara Buttrick.
Yep.
She, I think, in her 90s.
Yeah.
It was a real pleasure meeting her. She's done so much for women's boxing even before me.
Yes.
I didn't even know about. I learned about her. And uh, she's also promoted women's boxing. You know, her and Jimmy Finn.
Yes.
They both promoted women's boxing, so they're both really good people. Now she moved back to her country, Europe.
Yes.
She moved to be with her family, and I always ask Jimmy how she doing. She's happy now, and her family taking good care of her. So I'm happy about
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that was the last of the photos. Um, so I do always ask people, what is the message that you would like to give to all the listeners around the world and even like the young female fighters that are up and coming on the boxing scene? What's a good message you like to send to everybody?
Well, before I do that, I'd like to say, Brooke, you were a great lightweight. You were a lightweight,
By
right?
the way, yeah,
You were
my title's at lightweight. Yes.
Yeah, you were a great lightweight and won the WBC title. And I would like to congratulate you on your induction into the Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. And I also heard that you were in the Army. Were you in the
I
Army?
was. Yes, I'm an Army
Get,
veteran. Yes.
oh my goodness, I have to salute you then,
Yeah,
right?
well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, that's where I met my husband. So before
Wow,
boxing was the Army. Yes.
wow. And then you have a podcast and a family. So you have many hats that
Many
you
hats. Yes. And we have
many.
our own barbecue business, like a pop-up truck.
Oh,
So yeah, we do it.
good.
I'm busy, but I'm trying to squeeze it all in there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I
So I
appreciate
want
that. That means a lot to me. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. And I would like to say that I'm happy to have made a contribution, so that the women of today can make millions and have fights that's, in the big arenas and doing much better than I was at that time. So, but I'm glad and I'm grateful,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Was there anything that I didn't bring up or I didn't touch on that you wanted to let people know before we finish the show?
Uh, uh, no, not only that I'm grateful, and I thank you too for the podcast and for inviting me, on the show.
Yeah, it's definitely
Uh,
been a pleasure. It's been my honor to have you on the show. It means the world to me, really, really does. You're definitely an icon, one of the best there ever was. So I mean, I love doing this. And getting, like I said, I do a lot of research on everybody that I have on the show, but I learn something new about every single person that comes on. Um,
right.
yeah, so I appreciate you for taking the time to share your story with the world, and to tell some of the nitty gritty behind the scenes stuff that we have to go through.
Yeah.
I just feel like people need to know that, because I always have, anytime I talk to like amateur fighters or young fighters, their question always is like, what should I expect? Or what do I have to look forward to? And I feel like we just need to be honest with them and let them know that it's not all rainbows and
Yeah.
hearts. Like there's a lot of crap that you're going to deal with and that you're going to see that's unfair and unjust and just crap. Really.
Yeah.
Um, and it's when they say blood, sweat, and tears, it's
Yeah.
literally blood, sweat, and tears,
Yeah.
because you're going to cry probably more than you're going to smile if you're in the sport of women's boxing.
Yes.
But in the end,
Happened to me.
yeah, seriously, I'm not even kidding. That's so true. Just because you feel like you're being crushed and like you
Yeah.
can't take it any other way than you're already taking the crap from. Uh,
Yeah.
but we do it because we love it. Um, and for me, the icing on the cake was making the Hall of Fame. It made it all worth it.
Right. Right.
So, but you got to stick with it and follow your dream and bear through it if that's what your dream, that's where your dreams are leading you. But it's not going to be all pretty, and I think people need to know that, going
Yeah.
in, because I wish people would have told me that ahead of time, and I
Yeah.
might have been able to deal with some of the situations I dealt with a little bit differently, had I known ahead of time that those things were happening. But so that's kind of the goal of the podcast, is to let people know like all the not so great stuff and some of the good stuff, and what to look out for,
Right.
to prepare them. But yeah, once again, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to be here with me today. If I get some of those answers for you, I will definitely let you know. If you need anything at all, you're always welcome to reach out to me. And everybody, just so that you know, if you want to share with people, I will share this post once my air guy Eric gets it to me, and let everybody know that it's still going to air normal time, 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, on my live time, so you can let people know if they want to watch it. And we'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Okay. That sounds like a winner.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a
You're
great
welcome.
night.
Thank you. You
All right.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you and your
You
family.
too. You too. Thank you so much.
You're
All
welcome.
righty. Bye bye.
Oh,
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on No Punches Pulled with No Mercy. Sorry, once again, it was a pre-recorded show. Miriam needed a little assistance, so we had to do a pre-recording, to give her someone there to give her some assistance, her home aid. But we will be back live again next week. So please make sure you guys, if you have any questions, do still put them in the comments. My guys will get me the questions. I will get them answered for you. I appreciate you tuning in as always. And make sure that you are liking, subscribing, and sharing the episodes. Let's get more people in here every week. Let's get the word spread. Um, if you guys have any questions, of course, always comment, reach out to me. You can find me on any of my social medias. Brooke, No Mercy, Dierdorff, the podcast page, No Punches Pulled with No Mercy. reach out, send me a message, give me a comment. Let me know how you guys are liking the show. But do make sure that you guys are staying informed on who's going to be on the show every week by following my social media pages. Marian Trimiar also has a page on Facebook. If you guys want to reach out and send her a request or follow her career and all that there too as well. But remember, join me again next week. We'll be back right here, same time, same place, with no punches pulled, with no mercy. We will see you all next week.